Okay, so are you going to, well, first, is this going to be for the practitioner or is it going to be for the architect?
Okay, basically, you are uh, right now studying for practitioner exam. So, I'm going to talk about IAM today. And you have to have the idea of IAM also, because
Mhm.
IAM is very important.
Uh-huh.
So my goal is not uh, I mean, what my goal is it's actually like giving you some practical knowledge about the topics. Suppose today I will do some labs on IAM, and then in the next class I will do some labs on something else.
Okay.
So it's not exactly a solutions architect exam. Okay, it's for solutions architect. It might be for cloud practitioner. This is a lab class, so
Okay.
you can learn. And I think, yeah, I told you to study IAM, so I think you already studied IAM. Okay, so this is the AWS console. Uh, did you open any account on AWS?
Yeah, but before, I do not see your screen. If
Okay.
you, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm extremely sorry. I did not. I did not actually share my screen. So now you can see my screen, right?
Hold on. Mm, mm, bro.
You can't.
Uh, it's like my Zoom app doesn't open anymore. Mm,
You are using a laptop, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you open the link on laptop?
Yes.
Okay. You can't see the link, and that's a problem.
Let me see. Would we be able to cancel this meeting and restart a new one so that I can open my
Yeah,
Zoom?
yeah. Sure,
All right.
sure.
Okay.
Or okay, what just do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just leave the meeting and then join again.
Okay.
Oh,
Hello.
hello. Yeah, this time can you see now?
Oh, yes, I can see that.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Uh, so I was saying that this is the AWS console, and you opened an account, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, you can use a lot of services for free for 1 month. The free tier services, they are not all the services. Okay, there are some services that you can use freely for the next 1 year. I'm sorry, but there are definitely some limitations, right? Like this IAM, it's okay, it's not a problem, you can uh, use it. But like there is something called EC2 EC2 instance. like an Elastic Compute Cloud instance, their server. You know what instance means? An
Yeah.
instance is actually the
I mean, I've
server.
used it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I've used it, but like definition-wise, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. So there are some restrictions like in EC2, the maximum hour, maybe it is 750 hours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if it goes over 750 hours in a month, then they will charge. So
Yeah.
we don't need that many hours actually. Okay, so from here I will go to IAM. Yeah, IAM is in security, identity, and compliance section. So this is IAM. So if sometimes you want to go somewhere but you cannot find here, so what you can do, you can just search the name here, and then you can go. So right now I'm clicking on IAM. I will go to IAM. So IAM is basically identity and access management.
Mm-hmm.
Using IAM, we can create users for our organization. I'm a single person. You are a single person. You don't have an organization. But when you will work in any company, then they have a big organization. There might be one account. There might be multiple accounts, but I'm talking about a single account. So suppose they have an account in the developer section for the developer branch, and now in that account they need to give access to all the developers, right? So how will they give access? They will not directly give the root account ID and password. So what is the root account? Root account is this account. I open this account with an email and a password.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the root account. So we will not give them the root account password and email ID, right? Because there will be a lot of security concerns in that case. So we can create users and give them permissions to specific permissions to have access to our account, and they can access the account and those specific services and resources. So we will understand what it is. So we are in dashboard right now. So in the dashboard, we can have a basic overview of whatever we have, whatever we did uh, on identity and access management. So right now we can see at the top, IAM user sign in link. So this is the sign in link. Suppose you are creating a user, now you want to give, now you are saying the user that, okay, this is the sign in link, I'm giving you this link, and now you will have to definitely give him some kind of credentials, like it might be password or something else. So we'll see that later. So you will give them, and they will, using this sign in link, they will log in to this account. So right now we can see Rahima here.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what is this? This is called Alias. Okay, here your account ID, this AWS account ID will be here instead of Rahima. So Rahima is Alias. Now from that account ID, I took up the account ID and I put Rahima. How did I do it? You have to click on customize, and in class customize you can do that. That's very easy. So it's like right now, as you put an alias here, so you can just delete it, delete the alias and use the account number. Okay, so we can delete it, and after that we will see that account number. And when the account number will be there, if you want to put an alias, then click on customize, put the alias and save it. That's so easy. So I'm not going to delete it right now. So this is one thing. Then the next thing is, in IAM resources, so how many users we have? We have one user. I have already created one user. How many roles we have here? how many groups, identity providers, customer managed policies. So we will go over them one by one. But before
Mhm.
that, let's talk about these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 things here because they are important. So the first one is delete your root access keys. So for your root account, you will have some kind of access keys, and using those access keys, you can actually access your root account from a command line interface. So what is that? Suppose as you learned Python, did you hear about Python Boto 3?
Python
Boto 3.
Auto 3? No.
Boto 3, BOTO 3. Okay, so Python Boto 3, you can use Python Boto 3 to access your AWS account. So in that case, you have
Mhm.
to use the access keys. So you can let's click on manage security credentials. And if you click on security credentials, you can see a lot of things there. Password, multi-factor authentication, access keys, CloudFront key pairs. CloudFront is a different service. The
Mhm.
certificate account identifiers. So let's go back to dashboard again. So this option actually includes this activate MFA on your root account, this option and some other options. So let's go to this option. If we go there, so this is MFA means actually multi-factor authentication. So you have to enable multi-factor authentication here, and then there's a there's an app actually. You have to download it from Google. There's a Google Authenticator app. I will send you the link later, okay, in the Slack channel. So you have to download that app, but before that app, you have to set up the multi-factor authentication. Right now, you can see the tick mark here. That means this is okay. I created an IAM user. You can see that, but here it's like something like it's showing an error or something. This sign.
Mhm.
Okay, that means I didn't enable multi-factor authentication here, because if you enable multi-factor authentication, then every time you will log into your account, you will have to use a key. Okay, it's like a password or something like that, a number uh, that your app, that Google Authenticator app will generate. So you know it is very insecure. It is very insecure. There are a lot of security concerns, but I didn't just enable the multi-factor authentication. But you can enable it so that if someone gets the mm, your email address and your password, he can't log in actually, because you will have to put that number that the authenticator app will generate. So that's very safe. Now let's click on manage MFA, and here click on multi-factor authentication. Then if you click on activate MFA, so here are actually 3 options: virtual MFA, YouTube security key, and other hardware MFA device. So virtual, we will use a virtual MFA device. It says authenticator app installed on your mobile device or computer. It's much easier to install the authenticator app on your computer, on your mobile phone. So select it, virtual MFA device, click on continue. Now it says install a compatible app on your mobile device or computer. So compatible app, I will give you an app link in the Slack channel after the class. So what it says, after you will install, because I cannot show you right now how to install it, right? It's
Mhm.
very easy. You will just install it. After that, you will find some options. Using those options, you can actually scan this QR code. So you have to scan this QR code using that app actually. So for that, click on QR code and then scan this QR code, so that that app will understand that you are actually enabling the multi-factor authentication for this specific account. and save this QR code somewhere else, because there are sometimes you might lose access to your account. In that case, you will have to call Amazon. But there are some ways um, in which you can actually use this MFA QR code to get back the access to your account. So that's why it's safe to save this somewhere. And now after you will scan this code, you will see on your app that this app is generating some numbers. So you have to put two consecutive MFA codes here. Those numbers are called codes definitely. So you have to put two consecutive MFA codes on these two boxes and then assign MFA. Click on assign MFA, then multi-factor authentication will be enabled for this account. Now the next time if you want to log in, if you log out and log in, then you will have to use the MFA code also while logging into your account. So that's how you will do it. And remember that these codes should be consecutive. Okay, it might be also very important for the exam. It can say that should the MFA codes be consecutive or not. Okay, so just to keep this idea here. So now we talked about multi-factor authentication. Let's go back to dashboard again and create individual IAM users. Okay, we will talk about that later. Use groups to assign permissions. I will talk about it later. This is groups. And apply an IAM password policy. Okay, now you can actually create a password policy for your account, and the users will have to follow that password policy. So in that password policy, actually what you will do, let's click on manage password policy.
After that,
And here you can see set password policy. So if we click on set password policy, and we can see actually we have a lot of options. Suppose you can if you want, uh, then you can, if you select this option, that what it says, require at least one uppercase letter from the Latin alphabet. From capital A to capital Z. So at least one uppercase letter should be used in the password that your user will create. So this, and you can select some other options from here. If you select this, then the password should contain at least one number. So this is how you can set this password policy. So I'm not doing it, but I'm just giving you the idea that you can set the password policy, and it is very important for the exam also. So now we talked about password policy, and let's now move on to users. So what is users? I already gave you an idea that you are working in a company now where you want to create, now you want to give access to this AWS account to your developers. So you will create uh, a user for each of the developers, and you will actually give them the link and everything else. So let's click on add user, and we will create a user here. So suppose this username has, suppose username is Ida. Okay, and this is a single user. Now if you want to create more users, then you can click on add another user. And then when you will, it's very important to know that when you will create multiple users at the same time, then the same type of access will be given to those users. And this is important to remember. So we are going to create only a single user here. Then let's talk about the access type. You created a user, you will give the link to your user, but what type of access they will have to your account? There are two access types. One is the programmatic access, another one is the AWS management console access. So let's talk about management console access first. This is our console. So we will just, if we enable a password uh, for this access type, then we will have to give the link to the user. We will give the password to the user and the username, and he will, from his computer, he will go to AWS, and then he will sign in and put these things. I mean, yeah, he will actually use that sign in link, and he will be redirected to the page where he needs to put a password and this username. And another one is programmatic access. So this programmatic access, I was talking about the access key ID and secret access key. So if you give the programmatic access, then a pair of access key ID and secret access key will be generated. And using that pair of access keys, someone can access your AWS account programmatically. That means, so I was talking about Python Boto 3. So basically, I think it's an SDK most probably. So using Python Boto 3, if you use the access key and secret access key, then you can have access to your account. So it's something like that. So let's give the user both programmatic access. So it will generate a pair of access key ID and secret access key, and also the management console access. So if you give the user, okay, if you give the user a management console access, then you will have some options here. Suppose console password. So will the password be auto generated, or you will use a custom password and then give this password to your user? Which one you want to do? So suppose I will give a custom password to our user. So let's click here and create a custom password. Okay, so I created a custom password. This password should be used when the user will log into this account. And here one more option, require password reset. Do you want the user to reset the password when he will log into the account? Just untick it, because I don't want to do that. But if you put a tick mark here, then the user will have to create a password when he will log in. And I'm giving programmatic access also. Now let's click on permissions. And here we can set the permissions in three ways. One, add user to a group. We didn't create any group, so forget about this. Copy permissions from an existing user. I told you that I have already created one user, so we can copy permission from this existing user. Click on here and then go to the next page, but I don't want to copy permissions from that existing user. So how will I give the permission? We have permission policy, so we'll use the permission policy. Yeah, if you click on attach existing policies directly, so these are the policies, permission policies. These are the policies that AWS created, and you will see them by default. But if you want, you can create your own policy. So let's talk about create own policy a little. I'm not going to create my own policy, but I will just show you that you can do it. Okay, so here these policies are written in JSON format. You are definitely familiar with JSON format. So here you can create your policy in two ways. One using the visual editor, and another one is writing the policy in JSON format. So this is the JSON format. And another one using the visual editor. So you have to select the service, I mean for which service you are actually creating the policy. Suppose if you want to create this policy for S3, then use S3, select S3, and then action actually. I mean, what type of action can be performed by this service using this policy? So there are actually different level of actions. It can be list, that means you will list all the resources. I mean everything. You can only read, you can only write. It's something like this. And which resource, on which resource will these actions can be performed? You will select that resource. If you just click on write, yeah, and from here actually you can select different resources. So you have to do something else. I'm not going to do that. I'm just giving you the idea on how to do it. And then if you select everything, then you will have to review the policy, and then you can create your own policy. So it's something like that. So you don't need to go deep, uh, I mean, dive deep into it. Just have the idea that you can do it this way. So if I use the policy that's already been created by AWS, then I have to select the policy from here. So let's type S3, any policy. You can use actually any policy. Let's say give this user the administrator access. So this is the administrator access. Okay, so using this administrator access means that user can do anything on your AWS account. So create policy. Yeah, okay, let's cancel it. Let's go to policy again. Start from the beginning. Okay, I am giving administrator access. Oh, okay. I'm extremely sorry that these are the actual policies. Okay, I'm not going to create the policy. So these are the policies that we can use actually. When we will actually create EC2 instances, then we will attach these policies to our EC2 instances. So I was actually creating a user. I didn't create the user. I'm still okay. Let's give programmatic access and yeah, next permission, and here we click on attach existing policy, and I'm giving that user administrator access. Now click on next. Tags, these are the tags that you can use to uh, to actually figure out who this ID is for why you created this, something like this. So if I just create a tag here like branch, developer branch. So when next time you will see this key value pair, this tag, then you will understand that this is for the developer branch. So now click on review, and we can see the permission summary here, administrator access, and IAM user change password. And this is we can see the key value pair here. Now click create user. Now here is very important. We are giving programmatic access to this user. So if you give programmatic access, then you know a pair of a key pair like the secret access key and public key will generate, right? So here actually you have to download this key. If you don't download this key, then after closing this page, you cannot get back the key. So you have to create the user again if you want to give programmatic access to that user. So you must download this key. It's important for the exam. So let's just download it. We're not going to use it, but you can just download it and close it. Now here is our new user, and this is the attached permission policy. We did not set any permission boundary for this user, and this is the group. We did not create any group. This is the tag branch developer. In the security credentials, we can see that console password is enabled. Definitely I enabled console password. Then assigned MFA device. I did not assign any MFA device for this account. And signing certificate, that's a different thing. And here we can see the access key here. So if you, after creating the user, if you think that okay, I don't want to give programmatic access to this user, so how will you do it? Actually, you can simply inactive it, make it inactive. And after a few days, if you think that okay, I will give programmatic access to this user again, make active again. That's how you can do it. And console password, you can manage the password also. If you think that okay, I gave this user the password, but I don't want to give him the console access now, just disable it. If you want, you can change your password here. If you want, you can change this setting also. You might want to, you might require a password reset for the user. If you want, you can do it. And this is the access advisor. Actually access advisor actually shows here I mean okay, yeah, what type of permissions have been granted to this user using access advisor. You can see what type of permissions have been granted to this user and when they were last accessed. So we can see all of these permissions here, right? Because I gave this user administrator access. Now the next thing is I gave this user administrator access. So I will now show you how to actually how this user can log into this account. So click on user. Yeah, in the security credentials, you can see the login sign-in link here. This is the same sign-in link actually. So if you just copy it, I'm copying it and I'm going to a new private window, and I'm trying to log into to that account. So this is the account Alias here, and we have to put the username. So what was our user ID? And now the password that I created for this user. So I use them. Now let's try to sign in. I didn't enable any multi-factor authentication for this user, right? So I don't need to use that. Just click on sign in. You must change your password to continue. Okay, got it. Most probably old password, new password. Okay, did I select that? The password should be changed. Yeah, actually, why I had to change this password, because I actually required the user to change the password at sign in, next sign in. That's why. So if I did not I select that, use that requirement, then I didn't have to change the password. But okay, it's also a way of learning. You saw that if you do it, then you have to change the password. I mean, this is not the password for your root account. This is the password just for this user ID. Okay, so you can see IDA here. This is the user at Rahima. So Rahima is the root account and IDA is the user. And here it's very important. We can see different regions here. So actually AWS divided from its side, actually, to provide better services, it divided the whole world into multiple regions. So right now we are in Ohio region. If you want, you can go to Northern Virginia region. IAM, Identity and Access Management, is global. Whatever change in you will make to your IAM, it will apply for the whole world. I mean, for from any region. From any region, you can get the same type of permission, the same type of services, because IAM is global. So now IDA logged into this account. Let's see if she can do something or not. Okay, let's try to go to EC2 and see, because IDA has the administrator access, right? So here, if you want, yeah, I have 2 instances running in this account. So I clicked launch instances. That means IDA can launch the instances. Okay, I'm not going to launch the instance right now. I just showed you, and I can also see everything, right? I can see the how many instances I have here. From EC2 dashboard, I can see everything here because IDA has that permission. And if I go to Amazon S3, as IDA has administrator access, so she can see all the buckets of S3s. If you want, you can create any bucket. Like, okay, let's just create a bucket, anything. Region, we have to create the bucket in a region. We'll talk about S3 later. Let's just create it. Yeah, there you go. IDA created a bucket also. That means she has the administrator access to use all the services, all the resources of this AWS account. Now, I'm going back here. Let's create another user. This time, I will not give any access to this user. So what will happen? Close it. Let's give it a name, no access. Programmatic access. Okay, and I will not, also keep in mind, I will not give programmatic access to this user. So what will happen? I will just give the console access. Yeah, I'm just unticking it so that I don't need to create any password again. Permission. Here, I don't want to give any permission to this user. Go to tag. I'm not putting any tag here. Click on review, and it says this user has no permissions. Just create the user, and let's see what happens. Okay, as we did not give the programmatic access to this user, that's why it says here I don't see the access key and secret access key here, because this user does not have the programmatic access. Basically, it does not have any access actually. Close it, and no access. This is our user that does not have the any programmatic access, and this is the link to log into the account. I'm going to a private window and pasting that link. So our username was no access. Yeah, no access. Uh, let's sign in, and we will see what this user can do. It does not have any access. Okay. Now the same thing. If I go to EC2, then what will happen? If I go to S3, then what will happen? I'm in EC2 right, S3 right now. As this user does not have any access, it says simply access denied. We cannot just try to create a bucket. Let's click on create. Okay, it says bucket name already exists. Okay, it says access denied. This user cannot access it. What about EC2? Okay, he cannot see anything actually. How many instances are running right now? He cannot see it, and there is actually no option. Mm, yeah, you will see an option here to launch the instance, but actually you cannot go ahead. It says an error occurred describing your selected AMI. You are not authorized to perform this operation. Yeah, definitely this user is not authorized to perform this operation. We know that. That means this user does not have the required permission that it should have. Okay, now let's talk about group. So what is this group? Actually, group is a group has some users. We can put users in a group. And so what is the purpose of creating this group? One main purpose is you can specify the same type of permission for a group, and all the users of that group will have those permissions. It's something like this. So if you create a group, let's give it a name. Okay, let's give it a name IDAS group. Click next. So now what type of permission policy you want to attach to this group? Again, let's give it only Amazon S3 full access. Then next step, create the group. Now this is the group. Now it says no user. So we don't have any user, right, in this group. If you just click here, we can see we don't have any user. We can see the permission Amazon S3 full access, and this is the access advisor. And so we can, from here we can add users to this group. Let's add users to this group. Photo sharing, no, not this one. IDA and no access. I am adding these two users to this group, and now I can see that these two users are in this group. So this is how actually you can add users to a group, and you set the permission policy for the group. All the groups of all the users of that group will have these permissions. Now the next one is role. So IAM role, they are actually used to grant permissions. Like suppose you want to give some permissions to Amazon EC2 instances. So how will you do it? You can use roles. So you have to create roles. Then you can delegate the permission through a role to other services, other resources actually. Here I have already created some roles, but let's go ahead and create a new role. So when you will create a new role, here you have to select for which service, you want to create this role. Let's create this role for EC2. And then if you click on next, then you have to select what these EC2 instances can do. Okay, these EC2 instances, if I select S3, you can use anything, whatever permissions you want to give, you will select that. It's something like that. I want to give S3 full access to these EC2 instances. That's why I'm selecting it. Now next tag, if you want, you can use tag, then review. Then you have to give a role name. So let's just give it a name, IDAS role. It's not a better idea to give this name because we are up now. We'll have to give a name that's more representative of what was going on, who can use this role, and what he will actually do. So this is the role. Now we created the role and we can see this role here. Let's click on this role and you can see the permissions, trust relationships. Okay, so trust relationship, this is important to know. When you will create a role, you will give that role to only the trusted entity. So what are the trusted entity? Here we selected EC2 as the trusted entity. So only EC2, as I trust only EC2, EC2 will have this role. If I selected anything else, that would be a trusted entity also. We did not put any tag. So this is how we created the role. Now this policy, I already talked about permission policy. These are the policies here that Amazon already created. If you want, you can create more policies from here. Suppose, yeah, customer managed. If you click on this drop down button, then you can see the customer managed policies, AWS managed policies. Let's click on customer managed policies. Okay, I can see two policies here that I created previously. So these are the customer managed policies. So we are done with groups, users, roles, and policies. Now let's move on to identity providers. We will not talk about identity providers in much detail, but I will just give you an idea. So if you click on identity provider, you can actually use two types. One is SAML, another one is OpenID Connect. You have to actually set them up, but for the cloud practitioner certificate, you don't need to go uh, deep into that. But just know that using SAML, you can give a single, SSO, that's called SSO, single sign-on permission to the user who will have that link. And in account settings, if you click on account settings, you can see the password here. And this access analyzer, credential report, organization activity. I won't talk about access analyzer, credential report, but this organization activity work. Okay, you can also create organizations if you want. Suppose, yeah, and the big companies in a company actually they create organization. So I was saying in the beginning that you are working in a company now. You have a developer branch. Okay, you have a backend developer branch, you have a front-end developer branch. So you can just go to my organizations, and after going to my organizations, you can create an organization there, and in that organization, okay, I clicked on organize accounts, and here you can actually put multiple organizational units. So I created on development unit, on cost development unit, on another one is production development. And in these units, you can put multiple AWS accounts. Suppose I'm in the development department. Now I have one AWS account. IDA is in the development department. IDA has one AWS account. So we will go to the development, a development unit, and then there we can add those AWS accounts of Focru and IDA. So here you can see that I already added an account to this organizational unit. And here we can set the permissions policy also. Here policy type, there are two types of policy here: service control policy SCP, and another one is tag policy. And we can see all the accounts here actually. So this is what the AWS organization is. So if you just have an idea, then if there are any questions, then you can answer that questions very easily. So we are almost done with identity and access management. We all already talked about almost everything. And for the cloud practitioner certificate, if you just follow this video, then you will have the the practical knowledge that you need to understand actually. And do you have any question?
Hey, no, I don't, and it's interesting to see that that's all I need for the practitioner. I'm a lot less scared now.
Yeah, actually, but that's I think that's all you need for the practitioner exam. But are you reading anything else? Like if you just watch videos, then I think it might not become enough. Like you have to have some little more idea. So for that purpose, mm, you can read the FAQ. Okay, you can read like AWS FAQ. Yeah, from here AWS FAQ, but don't be so much worried about them. Just read the important things, and you will also have to there are many practice tests in you can buy one of them from Udemy. There will be like 400 500 questions, and from there you will have to practice. If you don't practice, if you don't see those practice tests, then I think it will be very tough, very difficult to pass the exam, because those practice tests will grow your adaptability to the exam environment.
Okay.
For IAM, whatever I
I
showed you, it's important. Yeah, go ahead.
I also got the A Cloud Guru websites course, so I was
Yeah,
going to also watch that. I
that's
think I'm gonna
awesome.
do that next week, and like if I have any questions, ask you
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, sure. And actually, in the next week, I will talk about Amazon S3. Amazon S3 is it's a very important topic. And what I would suggest, when as you are learning now, so try to learn as much as you can. Okay,
Okay.
try to learn as much as you can. So you will take the you can take the practitioner exam after 1 month if you are serious enough. So after taking the practitioner exam, you will have already have the idea, right? So you will take the the 1 month or 2 month preparation for AWS Certified Solutions Architect, and you can pass that exam if you are serious enough. So think that your ultimate goal is to pass the Certified Solutions Architect exam. So study as much as you can, and also I showed you some labs. So just do it. If you don't do it, then you will forget. But if you do it, then everything will be in your mind. You'll not forget about them.
Okay.
Okay, so either for the next class, definitely study Amazon S3 and try to have as much idea as you can, and I will show you some labs on Amazon S3. And thank you so much. Actually, this is the first time, I'm taking a class like this. I never took any class like this.
Yeah, and if you yeah, just send me the link to the YouTube video, and
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And do you have, and did you turn on the notifications for Slack?
yeah,
Okay, okay. So you got the notifications of my message, right?
um, I didn't because maybe I was on
Okay, turn on the notification. Did you install Slack on your phone also?
yeah, I have it on my phone, but
Yeah. So go to maybe your notifications are snoozed. Okay, so you have to turn that on. It's somewhere at the top. You will see a bell button, I think. If you click on there, then you will see some options, and from there, you can actually activate the notification. So anytime I will put a message, you will instantly get the notification. So that way, everything will be easier. So I was actually sending you the messages on Slack, but there were no replies. Then I was thinking that what was going on? Maybe the IDA is not receiving the notifications. That might be.
let me see. I will turn it on my phone. That's the easiest way.
Okay, okay. Just turn it on and let's see if you can. Yeah, if you can see the notification when I will send you a message.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much, Ida, and
You're
study
welcome.
hard. Okay.
Yeah, and have a
Uh,
good night.
thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.